really interesting to be in this space where some people consider us to be extremists, white supremacists, Nazis, uh, extreme right wing. Uh, no, these descriptions have been weaponized. The other day, the other day, I got cited for hate speech on Twitter because I had some strong opinions about the Biden flexing, reminding all the Christians that they had declared March 31st to be the day of trans visibility. And, on Easter Sunday. So, the pastors and people who were celebrating that day with reverence, some people were offended. I get it. And other people pointed out, hey, March 31st has been proclaimed this day for years now. I think what people were sort of pointing out is, why did the Biden admin just go out there to create this big flex to remind everybody, just it seems like at the 11th hour, that this was the day. And what is further interesting is that their messaging in English to Americans, and then their messaging in Spanish on that particular Easter Sunday was very different. So for the English version, it was, I think if memory serves me correctly, Happy Easter, punto. And then there's a much bigger messaging for the trans community. For the Spanish speaking people, there was no mention at all of Trans Visibility Day. It was only Happy Easter. So what does that tell you? It tells you that the Biden administration knows that the Latinos are conservative by nature as a grouping. We're traditional. We are strong advocates of the nuclear family. Our faith is important. Our family is important. And here is an interesting, I guess, space that we find ourselves in, because a lot of Latinos, a lot of people who are really boots on the ground, engaged in politics, publicly and privately, are saying that they are declaring their independence. This is an interesting election year, mi gente, because Biden has turned off a whole bunch of voters. Trump has turned off a whole bunch of voters también. That's the thing. That's the thing that people don't want. And that doesn't necessarily mean they're all flocking towards Kennedy, but that the big flex is, hello, Republicans, not so fast. There is, in the upper echelons, in the Republican Party, there's racism there. Latinos do not feel welcome. I don't talk about that too much because I don't like to, move and play on my on the content that we share, and just pointing out those things. There's so much to point out that is maybe I feel a little bit more dire, but to me, and one of my messages to the community is that if we are so quick to get offended by what somebody says, by how somebody expresses themselves. Like the other day when I got cited for hate speech on Twitter, I defended myself. I quickly appealed, and I wrote in all caps because I was Latina red hot. I didn't write anything that wasn't a lie. And why did I get cited for hate speech temporarily? Because I was saying that if a man asked me to call him a woman when I'm looking at someone who clearly is a man, you're asking me to lie, and you're asking me to cooperate in a lie. And especially these days when people like to virtue signal so much. Like I had a lady in my comments, that is not love. God doesn't make mistakes. You're not being kind. Well, you're not being kind by asking me to cooperate in a lie, because one of the foundations of Christianity, of morality, is do not lie. I'm not saying I'm a perfect human being, but that is not love. That is not love. Of course, there's all sorts of situations. I'm not saying to go out of your way to disrespect someone, because that's not cool either. What I'm saying is that you can find the balance of standing boldly in your truth and being kind and compassionate, because so much of our audience, the people that are in our lives that we love, they live an alternative lifestyle. So we love and respect all of our family members, because for us, this is family, you know. And some of us are in such extreme boxes and we don't really realize, and we are becoming the people that we talk so much crap about. So from the Democrats, the leftists, the socialists, so many have become worse racists than the races that they have propagated and talked about their whole lives. And then people on the right wing, some people are becoming extreme in the other ways, where they are even more babies. Oh, look at what happens to the left. Good for you. Good for you. I'm like, I'm looking at a grown ass man who has a big following, and he's behaving like a child. Yet he has a platform where he can take that moment to educate and inspire, and he's not doing that. Is he or she a distraction at that point?